Matt, I'm almost free. I'm almost free of Windows. Oh. Look, it's weird. I like using Windows.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Windows falls over too much.
Yeah.
It has too many bugs and annoyances and quirks. And like, so here's the thing. The first ever Mac that I used was a 13-inch MacBook Pro in 2014. That device just ran really well for like 7 or 8 years. It was insane. Like Thomas, until quite recently, was using that even to develop parts of Pill Beyond. Like, what the fuck?
Genuine madness.
And like, if that, like, how many fresh Windows installs will that motherfucker have needed?
300.
Yeah, it's wild, right? So no, I mean, like, Matt's, if you're not aware, like, you're having a Linux adventure soon.
Yep. If I finish Stranger Paradise on Saturday, that'll be my Sunday adventure.
Basically, we're both having a Unix adventure because if you're not aware, one of the reasons why loads of power users absolutely fucking love Mac OS is it's Unix.
Yeah.
Linux.
Lots of transferable skills.
Yeah, absolutely. The transferable skills. So there's actually loads of great power user features. Of course, if you want to go full, into the realms of madness and fun and open source, then you hop over to Linux. But as an example, Crossfire or Crossover even, which is
Crossfire, not the mobile game.
Yep. Crossover is what I would be using to play some Windows games on Mac OS. Crossfire is made by basically a group of the Wine devs who it's like 4% of contributors, but over 50% of contributions. That's Wine. Final Fantasy 14 and Mac is just Wine. It's just, they sold you the Windows build, but Wine.
Yep.
And of course that all is the the Linux gaming as well, right?
Yeah,
so it's quite interesting.
Litrus and Proton, all that stuff.
And why we think this is important is the Steam Deck is a Linux device. And if we can get more Linux, that will be a good thing. More competition.
Yep.
And also, there are games like Elden Ring that literally run better on Steam Deck.
Yep, because they're, the platform approaches that, allow for Vulkan pre-caching, where DX12 doesn't allow for shaded pre-caching, so developer incompetence or laziness can be overcome on the user or on the platform level there, and that's really, really cool that Steam actually solved that. And
like, by some of the badness of Windows is so there's just more advertising coming in. There's a Windows 11 Insider build that has like an advertisement inside File Explorer. Now, for a lot of people, like, there are better alternatives to File Explorer, by the way. I don't know. But generally with Windows, I've just found, I mean, maybe it's just because of the whole registry thing, which is just very fundamentally different to how things work over on Mac and Linux land. But I just find Windows is so much more apt in power user scenarios to fall over.
Yep, for sure.
And I find it all the time. Like, I'm a computer power user, have been for years. I don't click on funny links or do weird things like that. Weird. But anyway, and I think in a world where, Windows is at least toying with the idea of bringing advertisements into File Explorer, it's like...
Yeah. And they already have them in the start menu, everywhere else, like, so...
Yeah, Windows has just got more and more intrusive, and it's, like, it is unfortunate. But it's like, how long can you be, one of the Windows 7 holdouts?
Yeah.
As, these newer versions of Windows, they get more intrusive, but they do get more performant and have support for more features. Like, I'm fairly sure you can't do DX12 in Windows 7. So
I'm not sure about that. Maybe. I don't know.
Actually, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
I remember whenever I got Windows Vista, it's like, was that DX10?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and like that was one of the reasons why, you would go ahead and get Vista.
Yeah.
I remember it. Vista was like one of my first tech disappointments. I was excited for Windows Vista, and I was a day one Windows Vista user.
Yep.
And I actually did eventually go back to XP.
Good man.
I went back to Vista. I think after it was a Service Pack. I think it was Vista Service Pack 2 that I returned with. The days. Yep. So do they play WoW on Mac? Yeah, I play WoW on Mac now. Yeah. Now that said, this is an M1 Max. This runs World of Warcraft at, I think it's like, basically the resolution is 3000 by 200. Yeah. I'm going around Oribos, like either max or at 7 at like 60 to 80 FPS.
Yeah. Perfectly playable.
And as a content creation machine, this thing's fucking bonkers. Yeah. The media engine on the M1 Max is very delicious and tasty. Whenever I screen record, 60 FPS, 1440p, my CPU usage goes up 1%. That's because it's dedicated hardware.
Yeah.
But I'm finding I'm having a better screen recording content creation experience on this than I do on a 3070 with Shadowplay.
Yep, damn straight.
I mean, actually, here's the thing on Shadowplay. Well, running on an RTX 3070, which is what the Blade has, you hit the record button and you actually have a frame stutter.
Yeah.
With this, it's completely seamless. It's just bonkers. Plus, it also helps, like, I get the thermal and power envelope of this because the Apple Silicon is so much more power and heat efficient than x86. It means that, like, this has the same performance on battery as not on battery. And that actually really matters. Because, like, the Razer Blade, it's like, I like it, and we're going to use it as a production machine in here, so, nothing goes to waste. But, you go to use the Razer Blade as a laptop,
It's not a laptop. Like,
it's not a laptop.
It's a portable desktop.
It's a portable, yeah, totally. It's Razer build it as a laptop, to which I say, like, okay.
You try using it?
Why does it run so slowly out of battery? Or sorry, out of battery. No, so slowly with a full charge battery. Like you even put a 100-watt USB-C charger into that thing, and it still runs like a fucking, I don't know. I was going to say an injured donkey.
Yeah.
Whereas these M1 Max, they just run fucking maximum speed on battery. It's insane. Like this thing on battery, just playing WoW 100 FPS at like 3000 by 2000 resolution.
Yep, mad.
It's insane. It's madness. And certainly I'm thinking like, well, you're going to be playing World of Warcraft on Linux using Lutrix.
I'll try to, yes. I'll try to.
Yeah, so here's the thing, Rappin. We know that it's not coming and it was just on an insider build. But frankly, for me, it's like, they tried to do it.
Yeah.
They tried to put an advertisement on Explorer.
Yeah.
They were looking into it. Why were they looking into it? That's why I can't trust.
Yep, absolutely.
That's why I just can't trust myself with the Windows future. So, I really do think if crossover is good enough, I guess I'll just be fucking Mac, I guess.
Yeah.
There's some aspects of Mac that do, by the way, I should say, frustrate me as well. But other than that, I mean, I'm going to put Linux in the Blade.
Yeah.
I'm definitely okay. I'm probably going to come back on Monday and maybe if you've done your investigation into Linux, like I'm putting Linux on that Blade.
Yeah, what's
totally.
100%.
Like it might even run better. And certainly depending on the distro could be more.
Well, performance for day-to-day stuff will be better, yeah, for sure, 100%, because Linux is way more performant. It's just game performance isn't always there yet, or compatibility, etc. It's getting there, but still isn't.
Yeah. Is Explorer still a separate company from the antitrust? No. We're talking about Windows, like File Explorer. Yeah. So like you go to open up a file, you want to just go to My Documents. There's a banner ad.
Yep.
There's a banner ad for like another Microsoft like product, but it's just like man. Yeah. Apple stock owner cap. Man, no, I mean, okay, no, I own S&P 500, which means I do own Apple because I own S&P. I have no Apple stock, like just Apple stock. If you buy into like a major index fund, you're going to own Apple. If you have like a stocks and shares, like savings account at your bank, you probably own a slice of Apple. I mean, like even what you call him, Burger Man, Big Mac if the market's up, Warren Buffett.
Yep. Oh yeah.
It's like if you own Berkshire Hathaway, like, I think Berkshire Hathaway, it's like 40% of their stock's just Apple.
Yep.
It's wild. Yeah. So basically the reason why, and it's a fun, yeah, sure. It's a fun thing for like the general where computing is going. So, ARM, right? And RISC. What was RISC again? Is it reduced instruction set? Reduced instruction set computing? Anyway, it's different to x86, which is, what you're going to be dealing with all your, your Intels and your AMDs. So yeah, no, like your phone, your phone is running like a RISC, instruction set. Oh my God, NVIDIA, ARM, that's it. Who NVIDIA were going to buy, and then funny enough, NVIDIA basically they realized they weren't going to get an antitrust, so ARM thankfully is still going to be an independent company, and I think that is really good. But basically, you can get significantly better performance and efficiency from the RISC stuff, and then also the thing is, so this right, there's the Apple M1 chip, which is in Matt's. That's honestly, it's just a fucking iPhone chip. It's just a thick iPhone chip, essentially. But that's the thing, right? Like, how many million phones are made every year? Like, many million phone chips are made every year. So that's like a fair bit of it, right? It's like all of the stuff they learn because if you think about a phone chip, what's it got to be? It's got to be very efficient. It's got to not burn through the battery because then you're going to have a shitty phone with no battery. And hasn't that been like the most annoying thing of having a phone for the last 10 years, right? Like I remember I used to have one of those little, it was a little Sony phone. I had the twiddly thumbstick and that thing would last forever. And then you just get a modern phone and it's got like 4 hours of screen on time as it's dead. But yeah, no, basically I'm just talking them through how one of the really good big benefits is that desktop and high performance computing is beginning to benefit from the advances in technology that have been pushed by basically by phones. And that means we can now get the really, really nice power efficiency, which is just opening up new form factors and better performance and stuff like that. Which is all fun. Or some of it's just overkill. Like the iPads have an M1 in them.
That's
just don't need that.
Well, that's that's the thing. I mean, I guess if iPads are going to want to be, hey, this is a valid way to edit your videos. Like, is it Rush? Is it the
there's Adobe Rush? There's Luma Forge, Luna. I forget its name. Pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's wild stuff. Like,
what does World of Warcraft run on your thing?
In terms of performance-wise,
it can run like 1080 60. You definitely have to drop the settings.
Oh yeah, no, this thing basically hard caps at like 40 FPS in modern zones because of whatever's actually holding it back there. Be that RAM or be that CPU stuff. I'm not entirely sure, but it's
the rub. The rub is basically that a modern iPad can just play World of Warcraft.
Yep.
An entry-level iPad can play World of Warcraft.
Can't literally, but yeah.
It can't literally, but performance-wise it can, which is mad. Crazy. I mean, I remember it was Genshin Impact playing that on iPad Pro.
Oh yeah, Genshin's beautiful.
And I looked, and it was like, holy shit, this is running at like 100 frames a second.
Yeah.
Or is it 100? No, I was playing Genshin on my iPad Pro, and it was like 120 FPS. It was insane. It was mad.
Yeah. I mean, it runs at 60 on my iPhone 11. So
yeah, and I was just sitting there being like, man, I wish I could put an emulator on this iPad and just play Breath of the Wild. Because goddamn, like Breath of the Wild has got a really beautiful art style for like the resolution of the Switch.
Yeah.
But whenever you see those like 4K 60, I think it's the 4K 60 emulations of the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, because Steam runs it real well. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, man, that art style still like it looks so good at 4K, and it's just like imagine. We all want a Switch Pro, don't we? And I guess that's why the Steam Deck is really exciting. And then for me and Matt, it's also really exciting because the Steam Deck is pushing forward. The Steam Deck is pushing forward Linux gaming, which is good.
Yep, absolutely fantastic.
Apple products get slower when you update them by design. You see, that's funny. iPhone 6s users, they kept that I remember it was iOS 13. I remember having an old iPhone 6s, and I think iOS 13 came out, and it just was so fast after the update. It was crazy. That thing, though, specifically, Apple did a fuck up, and they made it opt out instead of opt in. Basically, what they did in that update that got them all of that news about the update making the phone slower is they... when phones had reduced capacity batteries, they reduced the power top end because they otherwise, I think, were having problems where highly degraded batteries after years of use would basically ask for like more, I don't know, wattage than they could get, and the phone would just die instantly. And, it would reboot. But at least in and around like iOS 13, if you went from iOS 12 to 13, I think, on an iPhone 6s, that thing just got like so much faster.
Yeah.
And I think that ended up being a problem where just people were like, I don't need to upgrade. I'm happy with the 6s. I don't need this shit. Which is actually fair. And to be honest, it is the real patrician move.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like the new iPhone SE has got...
the new one, yeah.
Yeah, it's got the A15. So it's like, if you get that iPhone SE... You don't have to upgrade that for like 10 years. Probably.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing where like
it's kind of wild. Like certainly Apple will support an older device in their overall refresh cycle and stuff than like Samsung or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing.
Like Android support just got dropped like a fucking rock after 2 years.
Yeah, like I have this 11, and I'm like, I'll happily keep this iPhone 11 for a long, long time. It's like my upgrade window open. I'm like, no, why would phone good? Why would I spend more money?
Yeah,
That's fundamentally the point of it. I mean, obviously Apple have a bunch of disadvantages in different places, but yeah.
Yeah, like to what Steven's saying, like focusing too much in the OS, you're getting a lot less
Yeah.
hardware-wise. Most
Yeah.
Apple products, the given price
Completely true.
range.
Completely true.
I would say for the base models of your device and the MacBook Air, that's a price to performance. It's pretty much hard for anything to beat
the price-
in the
yeah.
format.
Yeah,
You can get one of those, those thick Lenovo Legions for about like $800, $900. Those are, by the way, if you want
Yeah,
like an
great, yeah.
entry-level gaming laptop, I'm fairly sure it's those like thick boy Lenovo Legions that are like real good bang for the buck.
Yeah.
But I think as an overall package, the entry-level MacBook Air is like nearly unbeatable. It
Yeah.
was in 2020 when it came out. That thing's like a year and a bit old now.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm kind of looking at this from the perspective of fuck Windows, Mac and Linux is the future. So obviously it's really easy to get excited about Mac devices and stuff, but the same case is like for the whole PC market, Linux having a step forward in terms of gaming performance, thanks to some of the Steam Deck stuff, thanks to that conversation been opened up, thanks to the work from developers actually making that happen. I think that's the case where you've got that. I guess Apple are doing extremely good work in the hardware stuff. Hopefully that inspires similar behavior that's going down there.
Their cheapest phone is like so much more powerful than the most expensive Android you can get. It's insane.
Yeah,
Just on the silicon front, they are doing fucking voodoo magic. It's fucked up. It's really fucked up.
Yep, it's completely wild.
But that said,
Really wild.
there's all these people that they're like, oh, how good is your phone, Geekbench, bruh?
Yeah,
And it's like, man, see all those synthetic benches? Just don't trust them. Because actually, some vendors will like cap shit, but then they'll uncap it for synthetic benchmarks to make their stuff look better than it is. And that is some iffy shit. Yeah, Hammer Dude, repairability is the barrier. You're so right. And it pisses me off every time Apple does a slide about repairability. Like, or not repairability, the environment. Like, yes, for the environment, we're not going to give you a wall wart for power. We're going to do all this stuff for the environment. And then we're like, what about e-waste? What about right to repair? You fuckers.
Yeah.
Hello? And that is totally the bit where Apple loses me. Like, I'm totally down for all the, the environmental stuff and like cleaning up the supply chain. Especially like less conflict in the supply chain. That's a really important thing as well. So I am totally there for all of that stuff. But like, they totally just lose you when they decide you can't be trusted to do a repair. Or more importantly,
for sure.
you can't be trusted to go to a repair professional who does have the skills. It's like, I can kind of understand Apple not wanting me to open this up and fix it because I'll probably do more damage. But the local Lewis Rossman of Belfast, I'm going to trust that person to fix my device. And it pisses me off that Apple won't trust me to trust that person to do the repair. Instead, you got to pay the like hyper fucking expensive bullshit. How many years do Apple give you on OS upgrades? Oh, it's loads of years for the phones. I don't know what it is now. Do they still support an iPhone 6S in the most recent version of iOS?
I don't know. Could they?
Was it iOS 14 support? No, it's 15.
Are we in 15, 14? I don't know.
We're in iOS 15.
I'm very confused.
What does it support?
Time goes too fast. Please have patience. It is only Google.
Yeah? Well, Google are sad.
Yeah, so he's
6S.
So he's working on the. This is the incredible power of the Mac.
That's it. And
Mac.
fucking
Yep. Can't even run Google.
Pog. So 6S is still supported.
Yeah.
That's a 20 long before the before times.
Yep.
So yeah, more like I remember I had a HTC One M8, which like at the time that was the phone. I was the one to have the One M8. It was like had a really nice design. Because I was at that time I think the Samsungs were still quite plasticky. Because I had I think I had a Galaxy 4 or a 3. I had the Galaxy before the M8. Then I had the M8 and it was really good. But yeah, it was just like the support just wasn't there. It was really weird. Anyway, that's a big rabbit hole we've fallen into.
Yeah, that was weird.
But look,
25-minute.
TLDR, Linux, good. Linux freedom. And look, if you're going to go all PCMR, then first of all, PC equals Windows. That's an Apple marketing campaign. So number one, if you're doing that, you're falling for Apple. And number two, our Lord and Savior, Gabe Newell, is a Linux man.
Of course he is.
What does Gabe want? Gabe wants gaming to be in Linux.
Wants freedom.
So freedom, exactly.
That's why the Steam Deck is just here. We'll just let you do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
It's completely unwalled. You want to install whatever you want to install on it, go for it.
Yeah.
You want to tear that bitch open, here's a guide how to do it.
That's why me and Matt are really hoping that the Steam Deck is like the thin end of the wedge for more Linux gaming, because Steam machines certainly weren't.
Yeah.
Remember those?
Yeah.
Oh boy. But man, the deck is awesome. Actually, one of the guys locally has got a Steam Deck on the NI Game Dev network,
nice.
Page, so that was pretty neat.
Bastard.
Bit jealous of you, sir. Man, our Steam Deck, by the way, is Q3.
Yep.
I was too late. I was like 15 minutes late. Q3.
Yep.
Oh, I want a Steam Deck. They're so cool. But man, they really are so cool.
Yep. They really are.
Even just as like a tiny, put in a little dock, get a portable mouse and keyboard. There you go.
Yeah, that's you
Like
sorted.
the Steam Deck could almost be an Omni device, because like how many gamers don't need to do like laptop shit on the go?
Yeah.
But it would be really handy to be like, it's gaming first, but you can dock it and do your other things.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, damn straight.
Neat. You go, Valve. You go, Valve.